Hello, good morning and welcome along to round 4 of the FIM CEV Repsol Championship. Live here from the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. My name's Jack Appleyard and alongside me for the next couple of hours is Elliot York. We've got European Moto3 and European Talent Cup action on the way for you. But we're going to start with the first of 2 Moto3 Junior World Championship races. Where last time out in Le Mans 3 weeks ago, it was the Japanese star Yuki Kuni who dominated from pole position. 2 races for the Junior World Championship under what is quite cloudy skies so far here in Barcelona. It was cracking the flags yesterday at this time, but so far the sun yet to break through. As I say, Elliot York is alongside me for our coverage this afternoon. The big news coming into it, we'll see the highlights from Le Mans here, and the runaway victor at Yuki Kuni isn't with us this weekend. A crash at Mugello 2 weeks ago whilst he was participating in the Red Bull Rookies Cup on the final lap of that race saw him break a bone in his right wrist, which means he's out of action this weekend, and his 13-point championship lead is under quite some threat. It
certainly is, Jack. Yeah, what a shame for our championship leader. 13 points clear at the minute. We'll have to see if anyone can take advantage of that.
2 men looking to take advantage of it are on your screen there. The number 20 of Jose Garcia. He's 5th in the championship at the moment. Jeremy Alcoba, the number 52 on the Husqvarna, who was making his move there on Garcia on his way to 3rd place. 2nd in the championship, 13 points adrift of Kuni at the moment. So with 2 races coming up, he needs just 1 4th place finish to be able to go level with Kuni, and then hopefully 15th or better in race 2 later on this afternoon. We'll see him take control of the Junior World Championship. So smiles on the face of Yuki Kuni 3 weeks ago. He's here at the circuit today and yesterday as well. We caught up with him. Sadly, not the same smiles on his face as we saw in Le Mans. Bitterly disappointed because not only does it mean he misses out here for the FIM CEV Repsol round this weekend, he was also due to wildcard in the Moto3 World Championship next weekend as well. So the injury couldn't have come at a worse time for the young Japanese man.
No, not at all. And like you say, there's 2 races today, so that's double the disappointment for Kuni. And again, like you say, the Moto3 World Championship wildcard he was due to do next weekend at this track. So yeah, what a shame for our championship leader. So
you can see conditions here, they're not to moan about. 21 degrees air temperature, 23 degrees track temperature. Pleasant enough for motorcycle racing. You can probably say near to perfect, because we saw the sun shining yesterday and conditions absolutely perfect. But by the time we got to the 2nd qualifying sessions yesterday afternoon, the times were substantially slower, almost 3/4 of a second to a second slower than what we saw in the session earlier in the day when the track temperature was slightly cooler. And in terms of the lap time set, they were absolutely superb. We've talked about this championship being the Junior World Championship. Get rid of Junior. They were World Championship quality times. The man on pole position, Denis Earnshue, set the fastest ever Moto3 lap around the Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya, over 1/4 of a second quicker than Enea Bastianini managed to take the Moto3 pole position in the World Championship last year. So get rid of the Junior. These are World Championship quality riders.
Absolutely, Jack. Yeah, like you say, Denis Earnshue put in an absolute stormer of a lap time in yesterday in the morning qualifying session when the conditions were, like you say, a little bit more perfect, should we say, because like you say, in the afternoon the sun was beaming down, track temperatures rose, and the conditions became a little more sketchy.
So let's show you around the Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya. And we're on board with one of the junior talent team riders here. The lap times, incidentally, you're looking at a 1:48.5, the fastest lap that Denis Earnshue set yesterday. In terms of what we're expecting in the race, probably in the 1:49s, maybe in the low 1:50s. So this is Billy Van Erde, the young Australian rider, as we say, a part of the junior talent team. First, we were watching here yesterday, Elliot. This is so impressive as they flick right, then left through turns 1 and 2, pick it up back onto the right-hand side of the tyre once again for turn 3, which goes on and on and on and on and on. It is always on the right-hand side of the tyre, still on it now before you then pick it up towards turn 4.
Yeah, it's a cracking place to watch that. The sweeping right, then left, then the long right-hander. Then you're coming into turn 4, a slightly slower corner before you're on the gas, on the exit into the what looks like downhill on the TV, but when you go watch it trackside, it's a lot more steeper than it looks on the cameras.
Even on the onboard here, it doesn't look as steep as it really is. This is a proper drop-off down the hill there as you go through turns 5, and then a quick flick left there. It counts as turn 6, even though it's not much of a corner. Then into the left and the right once again of turns 7 and 8. Pick it up before you get on the gas for the super quick turn 9. The Moto3 guys here are back a gear. off the gas ever so slightly before picking it up and then driving down towards turns 10 and then 11. We saw them on the brakes here yesterday. We got so close to the trackside, and they are so hard on the brakes here, certainly for the Moto3 guys, where we're expecting quite a close group at the front. There's going to be some moves been thrown in there.
Yeah, turn number 10 is probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit, I'd say. Maybe turn 1 as well. But yeah, like you say, when we were watching down there at turn 10, it's unbelievable how late they are on the brakes and how hard they are on the brakes, and getting as early as they do on the gas.
Super quick to finish the lap as well. We've seen them flick right through turn 13 into the final corner, turn 14, still in third gear here, pick it up, get over, not onto the green stuff though. We had a lot of track limits warnings yesterday. Get over the line, and that is the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, shown expertly by the number 31 of Billy Van Erde. And there he is, the junior talent team rider. He's struggled yesterday, down in 26th place on the grid is the young Australian. It's his first time here though, and at the age of just 17, obviously the reigning Asia Talent Cup champion. There's a lot to come from him, especially on his first time here. But this is the man we've been talking about, Denis Earnshaw, now the fastest ever Moto3 rider around the Circuit Barcelona-Catalunya. His first pole of the year, and he did it in style. But when it's come to qualifying, it's actually been pretty good this season so far. He's been on the front row in Estoril with second. Valencia a couple of weeks later was then second again. In Le Mans he was on the third row in seventh, and then pole once again here this weekend. His issues have come in the race, where there's no point fairy coating it. He has had a disastrous start to the season.
It is a massive weekend for Denis Earnshaw, arguably the favourite coming into this year after a stellar season last season. Of course, his brother has moved up to the Moto3 World Championships, so there's added pressure, so we say, onto him to have a good season. But yeah, he needs a good weekend here.
And there's Aleix View, another man that you would probably say was one of the championship favourites coming into it, who hasn't really had the best starts to the season as well. He's in the top 10, but he's a huge 51 points adrift of Yuki Kuni at the moment. He has been struggling a little bit in Le Mans, where he broke his finger, and as a result of that, breaking his middle finger on his right hand during qualifying, he missed the race. He crashed out of 5th place in Estoril. A decent weekend in Valencia, where he was 8th and then 5th, but this is back to what we know from Aleix View. Onto the front row of the grid, his best qualifying performance this year by a country mile. Other than that, he was 12th in Valencia, but apart from that, 23rd in Estoril, 19th in Le Mans. So back onto the front row where he belongs, and he's alongside his teammate, the number 7, Barry Bautas. Yeah,
Barry Bautas, as you can see there on your screen, 4th in the championship, a good start to his 2019 campaign. Got that brilliant result in Estoril in the sodden conditions, so we say. And then, yeah, 2 top 10s in Valencia and a 5th place in the Le Mans, where he was battling for 2nd place throughout the race. So yeah, a good qualifying yesterday for the Belgian rider, and he'll be looking for at least a podium today, shall we say, from the front row of the grid.
Yeah, certainly will. Super impressive is the young Belgian, just 15 years of age in his first full season at the moment. And of course, this weekend as well, we remember and pay tribute to Andreas Perez, a superb talent, bound for World Championship success. Andreas sadly lost his life here 1 year ago, and as ever, our thoughts are with his family and friends who join us this weekend. His name will live on through the Andreas Perez Foundation, under which this man, Carlos Tatai, will be riding for this season alongside Maikon Kawakami. This weekend, we do, of course, have Andreas Perez in our memories.
We certainly do, yeah. What a tragic day that was this time last year, and Carlos Tatai, the team Andreas rode for last season, will be hoping he can do him proud today with 2 races. Tatai, like we said with Earnshaw, it's a big weekend for Tatai. He started amazingly in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. He's top of that championship, but he's not fared so well in the Junior World Championship.
Yeah, not as you would expect from him. 9th at the moment with a best result of 6. He had a nightmare in Valencia at the 2nd round of the season, a technical problem in the first race, and then crashing out of podium contention in race 2. So that double DNF has certainly cost him, but his form in the Red Bull Rookies has been superb. We mentioned Yuki Kuni, the runaway winner in the Junior World Championship in Le Mans 3 weeks ago. Well, the same has to be said for Tatai in Mugello 2 weeks ago. Normally in the Red Bull Rookies, there is a handful, a gaggle of riders all battling for the win, but Carlos Tatai had other ideas. I think he was almost 10 seconds clear at Mugello 2 weeks ago. The 3-minute board goes up. We've just seen Jeremy Alcoba as well. He's a man second in the championship at the moment. Another of the big title favourites on board the Husqvarna. Middle of the second row of the grid for him. It's the first time this season he's been off of the front row, but he's yet to pick up a win so far this season. 5th, 2nd, 6th, 3rd. Consistency is there, but he'll be looking for that P1.
He absolutely will, Jack, yeah. And he came 3rd here last year in one of the races, so he's got podium pedigree. So he'll, yeah, like we say, he'll be definitely looking for a win.
And alongside him on the second row of the grid is Gerard Riou. A good qualifying performance for him, by far his best of the season so far. He's another man that has struggled in this Junior World Championship so far this season. In fact, has done for the past 2 seasons, mostly down to the fact that he's jumped about from manufacturer to manufacturer. In 2016, he had his best season by far in a KTM. Then in 2017, he was on a Mahindra and struggled. In 2018, he was onto a Husqvarna and struggled. Well, he's back onto the KTM this year after having 3 different manufacturers in 3 years, and it's clearly proving dividends at the fact that he's now up onto the second row of the grid and challenging.
Absolutely, Jack, yeah. And here we see Davide Pizzoli, the Italian number 23 rider, heading the 3rd row of the grid in 7th.
0.9 of a second behind Earnchu, just proves the pace that he had yesterday in 7th place, and he's almost a second adrift of him. But Pizzoli's another man he's in championship contention. 2 DNFs already to his name. A lap 1 crash in Estoril and then crashing out at Le Mans as well is proving costly at the moment. But a podium finish in Valencia is what he's after, and he has qualified well and showed strong pace throughout the championship so far this season, as Pizzoli has always been on the 3rd row of the grid with a front row start in Le Mans 3 weeks ago as well. And his teammate Xavi Artigas, who is the reigning European Talent Cup champion, is another one of the young talents to really keep an eye out on.
Yeah, absolutely. He is making a great start to his campaign in the Junior World Championship as we look at the grid. So leading the way is Denis Earnchu, Aleix Vieux and Barry Bautas, the 2 Sama Qatar and El Nieto team riders join him on the front row, with Tatai, Alcoba, Riou on the 2nd row, and Pizzoli, Artigas and Adrian Fernandez on the 3rd row.
Then move backward onto the row 4 of the grid, where we're likely to find Stefano Nepper, the young Italian, alongside Ryusuke Yamanaka, who incidentally will be here next weekend as well as part of the World Championship. He's taken over the wildcard ride of Yuki Kuni. And then Kevin Zanoni, fresh from a wildcard in Mugello with his home Grand Prix 2 weeks ago, back into the Junior World Championship and 12th on the grid.
Yeah, row 5 is Kawakami, the Brazilian, headed by junior talent team Noguchi and Maximilian Koffler, with Daniel Hargado, the youngest rider on the grid, in 16th, Julian Giral and Matteo Patelli. 20 is Inyo Iglesias with Max Cook 21st, David Salvador, Faustino Caniello and Jose Garcia. A disappointing qualifying for him. Matteo Pateca, Billy Van Erd and Aaron Polanco join him on row 9, sorry. On row 10 we've got Haruki Arita, Andrei Vositek, the Czech rider, and Idil Madi on 30th. Ryan van der Lingmaat, Simon Jespersen and Nicolo Fabio Carrara are on row 11. Row 12 is David Salvador, Luis Verdugo, wildcard, and Philip Racek. It's a difficult one to say. On row 12, and on row 13, we've got Joel Kelso, Alex Dief and Matteo Ripamonti.
So we're on to the warm-up lap, and if you want any indication that what victory here in the Junior World Championship at Barcelona means, just look at the list of previous winners in this championship, going all the way back to 2012, where Pecco Bagnaia, now MotoGP rider, won here. Then, a year later, Fabio Quartararo, a MotoGP rider, won the double here. A year after that, Aaron Canet, now leading the Moto3 World Championship, and Joan Mir, a MotoGP rider, won the races here. 12 months after that, Lorenzo Dalla Porta took the double in 2017. Alonso Lopez and Sergio Garcia took the victories. And then last year it was Sergio Garcia and Manuel Pagliani. That is 3 MotoGP riders, a man leading the the Moto3 World Championship, and a whole host of other Moto3 riders as well, who have won here over previous years. So that just proves what victory here means and understanding the talent on offer, where you can pick up 25 points here at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. But it's going to be a close fight. You mentioned the name of Jose Garcia there, 5th in the championship. We haven't really mentioned him. That's because he's down in 24th on the grid. Row 8 for Garcia, an absolute disaster for him. His worst qualifying by a country mile. He was 6th in Estoril, 13th in Valencia, 4th in Le Mans, and now 24th here in Barcelona. No technical problems, no crashes. We were watching him yesterday, and he was putting in lap after lap after lap, but just couldn't seem to get onto the pace.
Yeah, it's a strange one for Garcia because he's had, like you say, a really good start to the season. 5th overall in the championship. So yeah, really don't know what went on with him yesterday, but he's got a lot of work to do today if he wants to capitalise on, obviously, Cooney, like we've mentioned, not riding. So there's a chance for all these riders near the top of the championship to break down Cooney's advantage. There's
a number 83 of Maikon Kawakami, obviously one of the other Andreas Perez Foundation riders. He starts from a little bit further down on the grid, row 5 for him, but that's the man we're keeping our eyes on. Denis Earnshue, the fastest ever man on a Moto3 here at Barcelona, thanks to that imperious lap yesterday. Joined on the front row by the number 7 of Barry Baltus, the winner at Estoril at the start of the season, and the number 81 of Aleix View as well. Jeremy Alcoba, 2nd in the championship, looking to take over the lead from the injured Yuki Cooney. He starts from 5th on the grid, but all eyes are on Earnshue. Can he put a disastrous start to the season behind him and finally get his 2019 Junior World Championship campaign off to the start he was looking for? We wait for the lights to go out, and we're underway here in Barcelona. Superb start from Earnshue as he flies away from pole position. View starts to get bogged down ever so slightly, but he's going to get tucked in behind Earnshue, who surely is going to have the whole shot into turn 1. Out pulls View to try dive back under the inside of him. On the brakes, it's going to be View. It is. Aleix View takes the whole shot, but Earnshue's holding on around the outside and will have the inside line as they go into turn 2. And Earnshue has it back as he then flick right into the long turn number 3. Oh, who's that around the outside? I think it's Tatai, who's just moved around the outside of Aleix View, who got slightly bundled up as a result of Earnshue diving back under the inside. Barry Baltus has made a strong start in 2nd as well, as is Xavi Artigas having a long look up the inside. He's up to 5th place. Back goes View into 3rd now under the inside of Tatai, but Earnshue with the start that he needed from pole position.
Yeah, absolutely perfect start from Earnshue, just managing to hold off Aleix View. What a start from the number 81 rider who's making his way back up to 3rd. But it's Barry Baltus who is running with Earnshue as Earnshue tries to break them early. But yeah, Baltus is staying with him.
Yeah, these front two already looking to break clear, and there's a long way to go. 16 laps in this one. It's going to be difficult for anyone to pull away, but Earnshue already starting to try and increase the elastic at the front of this one. We've got an early faller. Who's that? It's Idil Mahadid, at number 78, that's gone down. The young man on board the Sepang International Circuit Junior team. His first trip to Barcelona, not gone to plan. That's a big move up the inside from Xavi Artigas, the young man under the inside of Jeremy Alcoba. He won't be too much of a fan of that one. Well, Alcoba picked up a podium finish in both of the races this time last year, but he's been bullied on the opening lap by some of the younger riders.
He has, yeah, and as we see Earnshue coming around the last 2 corners with Baltus tucked in behind him. Can the pack stay with Earnshue, because we know he's got the pace? He was 3/10 quicker than anyone in qualifying. He's now leading the race, so Baltus in the slipstream now. Can he get alongside him and pass into turn 1?
Of course, Earnshue on a KTM, as is Barry Baltus, as well as part of the Sama Global Angel Nieto Junior squad. Aleix View is part of the same team on a KTM as well, so they have struggled ever so slightly in the Moto3 World Championship, with the Hondas proving to be slightly more powerful. That's a couple of fallers gone down. Aaron Polanco, one of them, and the other, the 27 of Alex Diaz. I think is that at the final corner? It looks like it is. So it's a shame for the number 22 of Aaron Polanco and for Alex Diaz as well, the Leopard Junior team rider, and the Cuna de Campione squad. But back at the front, at least there's some joy for the Leopard squad, because Xavi Artigas started to make his way forward. He got rid of Jeremy Alcoba last lap, and now is in front of, who's that making a move through? Because it looks like Alcoba's had a couple of issues, because he's been shuffled backwards. No, there he is in 6th place, so it's Carlos Tatai that he's made the move on as Xavi Artigas. And he's looking pretty good there as well, having a look up the inside of Barry Baltus, who's now been shuffled backwards himself, with Aleix View up to 2nd, in behind Earnshue, who still holds it at the front.
Yeah, there's a group of 7 just breaking clear of Gerard Riou in 8th. He's 0.6 off Stefano Neppert, as you can see there, a slight gap to the number 67 rider. But here we go. Can anyone make a move? Artigas is looking feisty in these opening stages. Can he get up to 3rd? I think he can. And Tatai's going for it. Not quite, but does. Artigas is through, and it's Barry Baltus who's moved down to 4th, not Unleash View.
Carlos Tatai trying to squeeze through as well, though it's never going to be enough room for the pair of them to get under the inside of Barry Baltus. But Artigas got his elbows out, got his knees out, and just about squeezed through under the inside of the number 7. And he is probably the man that looks most likely to be able to challenge Earnshaw at the moment. He made a great start through from row number 3 of the grid, already through past Alcoba, Tatai and Baltus now as well. We see the number 43. He has definitely gone down. Simon Jespersen to be getting lapped at this early stage. That's 3 laps completed, and finally Earnshaw has been disposed at the front of this race, but viewing way too hot, and Earnshaw will take it back, and Artigas swoops around the outside. That's Isam Akmal who's gone down on the exit of, where has he gone down there?
I think that's turn 10, Jack.
Is it turn 10? It looks like it is.
Yeah, it is.
The number 36 rider that's gone down. That's a strange one. It looks like it's thrown him over the top, and as a result, he's in quite a bit of pain there. So he's just on the edge of the track. There'll be double yellow wave there, so no moves as they start to make their way down towards turn 10. We're at turn 4 here as we then work our way back down towards turn 5, down the hill, with Artigas there in 2nd place now. And as we thought, Elliot, he is the fastest man on track, and now in behind the Turkish rider of Deniz Earnshaw.
Yeah, it really is. He's 4 tenths quicker than the race leader Earnshaw on that last lap. So yeah, Artigas really putting in some pressure on the race leader. As we see Simon Jespersen, he needs to get out of the way here. The leaders are coming through as we enter the back straight. Let's hope the marshals are cleared. I think it's red flag. Yeah,
red flag's been waved. We've just got indication on our timing notice. So as the riders were about to come through towards turn 10, it looks like Isam Akmal is still receiving some medical attention at trackside, and as a result, quite rightly as well, the red flags come out on lap 3 of 16. So as 3 laps have been completed, I would imagine that we will go by that is the first half of the race. Obviously, we don't do aggregate anymore, but as we see them across the line, that will set the grid for race number 2 when we get underway. So it'll be Earnshaw, Artigas and Baltus on the front row. The aggregate timings that we see across the line will pay absolutely no effect whatsoever. It'll be a total restart with the grid altered ever so slightly as Isam Akmal does receive his medical attention. You see the fans to the left-hand side just applaud him off. We hope he is okay as a result of that. We'll keep you updated as we get one, but it's Earnshaw that'll start from pole position once again. And Artigas now has got himself elevated from the 3rd row of the grid up to 2nd. Baltus will hold his place on the front row as he did from the first restart. Alcoba 4th, Few in 5th, and Carlos Tatai in 6th. It's a good opportunity to run down the full order with 3 laps completed as the red flag comes out. So in 7th was Stefano Neppert, Fernandez was 8th, Yamanaka in 9th, Riou 10th, Zanoni 11th, and David Pizzoli, the other Italian, there in 12th. Daniel Holgado, the young junior team Estrella Galizia rider, 14th, and ahead of him Jose Garcia, who had made some good progress in the opening 3 laps of the race. He's the man 5th in the championship, started from 24th on the grid and already made his way through to 15th, so probably a blessing in disguise for him, the fact that he's now going to start the next race from 9 places higher up on the grid. And if he can get a good start, he might be able to go with that lead group, which we saw 7 or 8 riders just starting to break clear. You can see Akiayo to the left there, and that's his youngest son to the right of him, who looks after the junior operation. Akiayo, of course, will be back next weekend in the World Championship paddock with Dennis's younger brother, older brother. Obviously, they are
Not
twins.
sure who was born first,
but it depends who was born first. Obviously, Chan Earnshaw riding in the World Championship, whilst Dennis has been left in the Junior World Championship. I'm sure he's not too happy about that. Possibly a point to prove. And obviously the Red Bull KTM IO squad in Moto2 as well, with Brad Binder and Jorge Martin. So we wait for the restart. We've got indication that we will be getting underway in 5 minutes time. A 10-lap dash it will be. So 16 laps have been cut. Instead, it'll be a 10-lap dash for the opening Junior World Championship points of the day here. 11:13 local time, which is in about 4 minutes time. A quick restart procedure as well, so they'll go out on the route lap, come on to the grid, form that quick 60 seconds. Only 1 man from the team allowed on the grid with them. Give them a pat on the back, give them some words of encouragement. Off they go. We'll go out on the warm-up lap and then get underway. So we've got about 4 minutes before the pit lane will be open and we'll get the 10-lap dash underway. But a strong start from Earnchew there, Elliot, proving that although he had the pace in qualifying, he maybe doesn't have the pace to be able to pull clear.
Yeah, that 0.3 of a second quicker in qualifying obviously is in qualifying when you're out on your own and you're just putting the laps in. But in the race, like we see in the Moto3 World Championship, even if someone's got a little bit of an advantage on the pace, it's very, very difficult for you to break clear. Catalunya, as we can see, has got a long front straight, so the slipstream comes into great effect. So yeah, but he did what he needed to do. Held off a Leish View at the first corner and got into the lead, but yeah, he couldn't get away. So it looks like we've got a great race on our hands, and with 10 laps, everyone can just go for it.
It also looks as though I was talking utter nonsense as well. I was absolutely convinced that if 3 laps have been completed, that means that it's officially not a null and void start. Therefore, the positions as they come across the line will then determine the grid for the restart of the race. But our timing screens in front of us have just reverted back to the original grid with Earnchew, View and Baltus on the front row. So poor old Xavi Artigas, who started 8th and had made his way through to 2nd, won't start from the front row of the grid. It looks like he'll have to start once again and do that impressive work all over again from row number 3. So not sure what's going on there, but unsurprisingly, I was wrong.
Yeah, Artigas a great start, so let's hope he can do it again for his sake and he can get up to, well, he was in 2nd, wasn't he? So from 8th to 2nd is a cracking opening, 3 laps from the young Spaniard.
And there he is, Xavi Artigas. In fact, no, it's not. That is a different grid altogether. That is the Italian Leopard Junior squad, proving the investment that they have in junior racing across Europe. They've obviously got the Moto3 World Championship team with Marcos Ramirez and Lorenzo Della Porta. They've got a Junior World Championship team here. They've also got an Italian squad as well. We'll have a couple of those riders coming on for a wild card this weekend. They are the Australian Joel Kelso, rides in the Italian Championship, as does Matteo Ripamonti as well, the number 5, currently 7th in the Italian Championship. Best of 5th in Misano for him so far this year, but a real step up in quality for him, as we see from Kevin Zanoni, who actually leads the Italian Moto3 World Championship, Moto3 Championship, should I say, at the moment. He's dominating that one aboard the TM. He comes across the Junior World Championship and doesn't find it as easy. 4th row of the grid for Zanoni, but he was super impressive in Mugello 2 weeks ago. 2nd at the end of day 1, wasn't he? I mean, he got a great slipstream, which obviously helped, but still, for a wild card to be 2nd at the close of day 1 was rather impressive. It didn't particularly go to plan after that for the young Italian. He eventually didn't score any points, but a great experience for him nonetheless to have got his first World Championship experience, and at Mugello of all places as well.
Yeah, for an Italian, the place where you want to make your debut probably is Mugello, let's be honest. Yeah, a great track, like you say, probably got some slipstream with that, but he won't care. 2nd on day 1 is great experience from him and a great coupe for him. As we can see at the bottom, just a reminder, we've had red flags here due to a crash at turn 10, so a quick restart procedure. It looks like the riders are heading out of pit lane as we speak. You
can see the big clock in the background. You can see 2 seconds, 1 second, 11:13 pit lane will be open, which it has now ticked onto. So pit lane is open, quick restart procedure underway. 10-lap dash for the Junior World Championship, boys. And we're back to the original grid that we started off with. So we've got to do it all over again with Denis Earnchew on pole position, alongside the Samacata Angel Nieto junior squad of Leish View and Barry Baltus. It's a very, very busy garage, is that Aspar team, because not only have they got 3 riders in the Junior World Championship, they've also got 3 riders in the European Talent Cup as well. So 6 bikes in that garage. It is absolutely 100 mile an hour in there, 24/7. We walked past yesterday and there is a whole host of people in there, with poor old Nico Terol, who's the sporting director or the team manager, or whatever you want to call it, trying to organise all of it. Incidentally, the 3rd of the Aspar, the Samacata Angel Nieto junior squad riders, is the Austrian Max Koffler. He'll start from row 5 of the grid, the back of row 5, 15th for him. There's the number 13 of Filip Rejacek, the young Czech rider from Brno. First outing on a Moto3 this season for him after a disappointing year in the European Talent Cup last year, just getting to grips with the circuits, but he's going okay so far this year. He's Rayacek in the first year on a Moto3. I don't think we'll see him challenging at the front, but it's nice to give him a mention nonetheless. One man that we definitely will be mentioning and will be challenging at the front is that man, Dennis Earnshaw, the number 53. As we've already mentioned, disastrous start to the season. We are at round 4 here. The first round of the year took place in Estoril, where he crashed out in really, really difficult conditions. We then went on to Valencia, where he was the man that was pushing Yuki Kuni all the way, and then with 3 laps to go, he had a technical problem. You could see him slamming the tank on that KTM. As a result, the technical problem forcing him to pull out of the race despite leading. They then had a second race at Valencia, where he had a huge high side into the opening stages of that one. So that caused the fact that he'd then gone 3 races, the opening 3 rounds of the year, without scoring any points. Finally, they went to Le Mans last time out, where he finished in 8th place. He got some points on the board in the end, but the fact that he's only got 8 points to his name and Yuki Kuni already has 70 to his name. Yes, Kuni isn't here this weekend, but still, nonetheless, 62 points in arrears of the championship lead at this early stage already means it's going to be a real challenge for Dennis Earnshaw to get himself back into contention for the Junior World Championship. And Akiayo is a man that means business, and I'm sure he will have said to him at the start of this season, there is only one thing for you to go out and do this year, and that is win this championship. And so far, it looks like it might not happen. It's not happened so far for him, has it? Yeah, like we said before, coming into this, he was arguably the championship favourite, and it's just not gone well for him at all. That mechanical in the first race of Valencia was really cruel. Him and Kuni were the class of the field in race 1, and yeah, a crash out the lead in race 2 and an 8th in Le Mans in tricky conditions. So yeah, I don't think anything bar 2 podiums at least is going to be good enough for Dennis Earnshaw today. He'll be looking for a double race win, of course. Certainly will be looking for 2 race wins. He needs to start picking up 25-point hauls. We see the quick restart procedure, only 60 seconds. One man on the grid, they quickly shake the hands, give him a pat on the back, and then run off down pit lane to get out of the way. The green flags are waved and we're on to the warm-up lap. Earnshaw got an absolute stormer of a start from pole position last time, despite being put under a little bit of pressure through turns 1 and 2 from a Leish view. Be interesting to see whether he can pull that feat off once again. It is quite a long run here in Barcelona from the grid down to turn 1, so even if you don't get the perfect start, there is plenty of opportunity for you to tuck in behind whoever did get the perfect start and use a slipstream to be able to drag yourself back up to the front of them and possibly make a move into turn 1. It's not absolutely crucial that you get the perfect start here. Yeah, it's a point I was going to make, Jack. Like you say, Earnshaw probably got the best launch, but Leish view tucked in behind him, got the slipstream, and it's a long downhill run into turn 1. So it's like, say, if you can't get that initial launch, you've still got a decent chance of at least holding your position into turn 1 and then into 2 and 3. There's a junior talent team rider of Haruki Noguchi, the number 32, a part of the Red Bull rookies so far this year. First time at Barcelona for the young Japanese rider, and faring himself pretty well, to be honest. 14th on the grid for the 17-year-old. He's the 2 times Asia Talent Cup runner-up, a part of the same squad as the Australian Billy Van Erde, who actually won the Asia Talent Cup last season as well. Missed out on 1 point for the Asia Talent Cup in 2017 to guess who? The man on pole position, Dennis Earnshaw. So he's sick of the sight of the Turkish rider, is Haruki Noguchi, but to say it's his first time here at quite a technical circuit, he's going fairly well. Is the young Japanese rider, should I say. As are, to be honest, all of the junior talent team squad, who are quite depleted this weekend. Max Cook is there as well, the man who fared pretty well in the British Talent Cup last season as well. But they are lacking Super Mario Adji, who crashed here on Thursday and broke his left wrist, whereas his teammate Yuki Kuni crashed at Mugello and broke his right wrist. So both of them will be offering a helping hand in more ways than one to each other. Yes, they will. It's not the greatest of weekends for the junior talent team, but yeah, like I say, they've all the riders who are racing here are making their debuts, so they're doing well. Yeah, they certainly are. Max Cook, one to keep an eye out for the future. Number 30, the young British lad, the only British man on board this Junior World Championship grid at the moment. He'll start from row number 7, but our concentrations and focus will be on row number 1. Denis Earnshaw, can he get a perfect start once again? Wait for the lights to go out. It's not ideal. He pulls a big wheelie, and as a result, he has a quick glance to his right-hand side. Knowing that he hasn't got a best of starts, it's going to allow Baltus to try and motor his way past, as is Tatai as well from the second row of the grid. What a start from the number 99, and he's going to have the whole shot. No, it's going to be Alcoba who's come from nowhere. To the second row of the grid, Alcoba runs wide, and he's going to allow Aleix View, is it? It is the number 81 that takes the whole shot. He tried that move at the first running of this one, and at the second running it pays off. Aleix View takes the lead, and Denis Earnshaw, a disastrous start for him. Instead of having a whole shot, he's back in 4th, and he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he is. What a start from Alcoba into 2nd now. Tatai 3rd, and yeah, like you say, Denis Earnshaw, not the best start from pole position, but he's still in 4th. He's not lost too much ground on the leaders. He is there. So yeah, he'll be wanting to make up places quickly. You see Aleix backing it in there. Nicely done from the number 81, who has the lead this time. Just missed out on it before the red flags off the start.
Keep an eye on the number 24 of Xavi Artigas as well. Another great start from the reigning European Talent Cup champion. 8th on the grid, and he's up to 5th already, having made a move on the number 67 of Gerard Riou. But at the front, it's Aleix View that leads. The first time this season we've seen him at the front of a Junior World Championship race. Tucked in behind him is Alcoba. A better start from him. Tucked in behind the KTM. He's going to pull out. It's the Husqvarna. Look for a move up the inside. View is late on the brakes there, backing it in, squirreling from left to right. Just about gets it stopped though, and he holds it as we go into the stadium sector now through turns 12, 13 and 14 before we head back down the start-finish straight. Yeah,
Artigas making a move on Denis Earnshaw there at turn 10. So Artigas, another great start. He's on the move and he's past the pole position man, and he's into 4th as we come down the back straight. Let's see what the slipstream effect can do as we cross the line for 9 laps to go. Here we go, tucked in. Aleix View leading them across the line. But who is going to lead into turn 1? Artigas is looking.
On the Honda is Artigas, which we said from the World Championship has been strong, but that Husqvarna of Alcoba looks strong as well. But Aleix View super late on the brakes, slams the door shut on Alcoba, and as a result, he has to pick it up as Alcoba needs to be careful here that he doesn't take any form of advantage. God, he took a wide line there, and as a result, he's going to fill in just behind Barry Baltus, so he's down to 6 is Alcoba. He lost out big time there, and one of the big winners was Artigas and Earnshaw as well, that have managed to squeeze through into podium places in 2nd and 3rd now.
Yeah, not sure what happened there to
it's Alcoba, wasn't it?
Sorry, yeah, he's still in 3rd on time screen.
Oh, that's a big accident in the background. It looks like it may have been Yamanaka and Stefano Nepa, part of the Estrella Galizia squad, on the running. They weren't even into the corner. It looks as if they possibly tangled together onto brakes. Hopefully we'll see a replay of that one, but it was definitely saw a flash of blue, and it may well have been the number 6 of Ryusi Yamanaka. He's been shuffled down the orders on our timing screens.
I think there's 2 riders down.
Was it Nepa? Yeah, I think it was Stefano Nepa as well. A pair of them looked like they got tangled up on brakes, and it's just splintered the pack ever so slightly, with the leading 6 able to form a bit of a gap over the 67 of Riou as Alcoba tries to squeeze through. Oh, it's so close through there, not close enough for comfort. It was Nepa that went down, and the number 6 of Yamanaka, and I don't think Nepa is too pleased with that one. I think we could probably take a guess that it was Yamanaka at fault on that one.
Yeah, let's hope we get a replay to see exactly what happened. But back with the leaguers, and it's Xavi Artigas, the man who's that gone down, number 87 of Faustino Caniello on the KTM at turn 10. That's what it looks like. But back at the front, it is Artigas, but Aleix View is pulling out the slipstream, which...
Oh, it doesn't give him much room there. There's Artigas. View nearly on the grass as they're going down the start-finish straight, but he just about holds on 4 abreast here, and it's Earnshaw that will sweep across and take the lead. Here comes Alcoba up the inside, but no, Earnshaw will hit the front with Tatai settling into 3rd place. That's a move coming from, was it Gerard, Aleix View, sorry, up to 4th. Meanwhile, Barry Baltus just starting to get settled as well in 6th place.
Yeah, Earnshaw hits the front then for the first time in this race, but Alcoba's looking at the inside with Tatai right there with him. The 3 KTMs battling for the front. Will Alcoba go for the lead? He will. Nice move into turn 4.
It is a great move from Alcoba. 2 podiums last time we were here in 2018. Now looking to pick up his first win of the season so far, and he's looking pretty strong. Artigas, it just proves what one mistake or one little bit of getting toughed up can do in the Junior World Championship. He was leading down the start-finish straight, and he's already back to 5th now, but this leading group of 7 are just about trying to break clear. Adrian Fernandez is trying his level best to keep tabs with Gerard Rio in front of him, but the pace of this leading 7 looks as though they might be able to just break clear, but everyone behind trying their best just to hang on at the moment.
Here we go then, Dennis Erchu into turn 10. Does he get by? Yes, he does. Nice clean move from the number 53 Turk rider. Is Tatai going to make a move on Alcoba? Oh. Yes, he is. Shoves him wide. Nice move from Tatai, taking advantage of Erchu's move on Alcoba.
Aggressive from Tatai, taking no prisoners there. Shoved it up the inside of Alcoba. It's a brave move to go through turns 11 there. They go through first up to second, and they just hit the limiter before they then flick right into turns 12. So they were picked it up and just throwing it under the inside. But as we come down the start-finish straight to complete lap number 3. Remember, it's a 10-lap dash, only 7 to go. Eunchu leads. How strong is that KTM IO? It looks pretty strong at the moment, because although everyone's tucked in behind him, nobody can draft past, so Eunchu holds on to it. A wide line from Tatai. Is he going to look to try squeeze back underneath at turn 2? He had a look, but there was no room there, so it's Eunchu that holds on to it. With now Aleix View up to 3rd place. That's Baltus making a move on Artigas, who's just gone quiet after a great start. He's still settled into 6th. Tatai looking for the long way round as they move into turn 4, and as a result he's given an opportunity for Aleix View. Not much room there, but he pushes him wide. Can View hold on to 2nd? No, he can. Yeah,
Tatai's done well there to hold on to that place as he now goes into the lead. What a move. Is he going to rewind? I think he's in a little bit too hot, but can he hold the line? I think Eunchu's got it on the cutback, has he? They're side by side heading down into turn 7. Yeah, Eunchu's got the inside, so he will keep his lead.
These two side by side at the front. Meanwhile, they're battling for 4th place as well. I think Aleix View ran ever so slightly wide, and it just allowed Artigas and his teammate Baltus to have a good look up the inside, but View just about held on to hold 4th place for now. And as a result of this lot battling at the front, it has meant that everybody can close up.
Oh, Tatai's going to rewind there. Slight contact with Eunchu. Sorry, Jack, to put in there.
No problem. He does run a long way wide, does Tatai, and he loses out big time. Shuffle back to what's that, 6th place now with Rio over the back of him. I was just going to say we've got a leading group all the way back to David Pizzoli in 14th place. So the leading 14 riders we went across the line, covered by 1.5 seconds. This is proper Junior World Championship racing.
Yeah, exactly like what we see in the Moto3 World Championship. Cracking racing from all these riders. Let's hope they keep it clean. I'm sure they will as we head onto the straight to complete another lap, and it's Artigas.
Where on earth does he come from? Artigas.
That's a very good point. I don't know. But he still leads. But will he lead into turn 1? That's the question. Aleix View. Oh, that's
4 abreast, are they on? What's that falling off there? A little bit of debris coming off one of the bikes. Here comes Tatai with a big look up the inside to go into 3rd place. Eunchu's been shuffled back to 5th now, and Artigas, who led across the line, now back down to 6th. So it's View that leads, with Alcoba in 2nd and Tatai there in 3rd. But this order's going to change corner after corner, lap after lap.
Yeah, this is going to rage for the whole race. 6 laps to go.
Elbow to
so
elbow.
Close.
Alcoba and Aleix View getting their elbows out nice and early. That was brave stuff from Alcoba, giving his compatriot a nice big elbow to his left. That's a couple of guys that gone down. Ryan van der Lagermaat and Simon Jespersen as well. Disappointment for Jespersen. He's only just come back from injury. And it was a horrible injury as well. Oh, he just gets caught out. It was Jespersen that just clipped van der Lagermaat. Fortunately, the Dutch rider is up on his feet.
Oh, no.
That's some of the leaders gone down. It's Eunchu, Artigas, and it looks like either View or Baltus. Which one of the Samakatai? It's Aleix View that's gone down. Oh, disaster for the 3 leaders. Artigas, Eunchu, and Aleix View all down at the fight for the front.
Yeah, where's that? I think it could be on the exit of turn 5.
It is, exit of turn 5. Was it Artigas who was leading? Is it a high side for him? No, it was a massive high side from Aleix View, and Artigas and Eunchu had absolutely nowhere to go. Oh, Dennis Eunchu, how many ladders has he walked under? That is a 4th DNF of the season for him. A technical problem in Valencia, 2 crashes as well. And now he's crashed out once again. And Aleix View, who broke his middle finger in the Mont, looks slightly battered and bruised as a result of that one. Xavi Artigas out of the running as well, so that's 3 of the leaders that have gone down, and as a result it's allowed these 3 to break clear. Alcoba, Barry Baltus, Carlos Tatai with 5 laps remaining. It looks like for the fight for the win is going to come down to these 3 young men.
It is. What a disaster for Earnshaw, like we were saying at the start of the race. Important for him to get points on the board. But yeah, nothing he can do about that. Let's hope all three riders are okay. As we switch our attention to the three leaders now, Alcoba, Tata and Bautas, it looks like, who are going to go for the win with 5 laps remaining, coming around turn 3, the long right-hander, who is going to dive at the inside into turn 4. We'll wait and see.
So Jeremy Alcoba looking for his first win in the Junior World Championship since the opening round of 2017. Carlos Tatai has never stood on the top step of the podium in the Junior World Championship, whereas Barry Baltas has tasted success at the opening round of the year. So who is it going to come down to? Surely it is now these three riders, because they're 1.5 seconds clear of David Salvador, who's managed to muscle his way through to 4th place. Here comes a move from Tatai, looking up the inside, but no way through. He flicked left and then right through turns 7 and 8, up towards turn 9 now, with Alcoba still leading aboard the Husqvarna. Incidentally, the Husqvarna hasn't tasted success since 2016, the final round of the season, where I think it was Raul Fernandez, the reigning Junior World Championship winner, back in 2016, picked up victory for Husqvarna in Valencia. But there's a long way to go, 4.5 laps remaining. It's now a KTM at the front through Carlos Tatai.
Yeah, you mentioned David Salvador there, Jack. He started from 34th on the grid, row 12. Whew. So to get himself up into 6th place, he is now just behind the Asia Talent Team rider of Haruki Noguchi. So what a ride it is from David Salvador.
That is super impressive. And Haruki Noguchi as well, the Asia Talent Team rider, the first time he's ever been here, and he's up inside the top 5. A great ride from him. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's Carlos Tatai that leads them over the line. 4 laps remaining. Out pulls number 52 of Alcoba. Bautas there as well, and it's Bautas who's going to look to dive up the inside. Tatai loses out big time because he's been shuffled back from 1st to 3rd place. As we get onto the last lap, or the penultimate lap of the race, I think that's going to be telling. You don't want to be leading out to the final corner. But Alcoba hits the front with the Belgian in 2nd and Tatai in 3rd.
Yeah, cracking race so far from these three, countering on that 3-rider crash we saw at the exit of turn 5. But it's Alcoba who leads. He got 1 podium here last year with the 2nd place behind his then teammate Sergio Garcia. Can he go one better this time around? We'll wait and see as we go into turn 5 on the exit, where we saw Dennis Earnshaw, Aleix Fiu and Artigas crash out a couple of laps ago. That's
the moment of the race so far. That is what allowed these three to break clear. We had a leading gaggle of riders of almost 14 or 15, but that huge high side for Aleix Fiu caused everybody behind to sit up, anchor on the brakes. Unfortunately, despite Artigas and Earnshaw trying to do that themselves, left with nowhere to go, will just collide into the Samocatar Angel Nieto machine of Aleix Fiu, and those 3 went down, which leads these 3 riders to battle it out for the lead. With Alcoba hard on the brakes there, the doctor's dangle from Barry Baltas as he tried to slip under the inside. And this is going to be pivotal, Elliot. The rider number 52, Jeremy Alcoba, at the front, because of a shortcut at turns 1 and 2 when we saw him sit up, although he didn't take any advantage whatsoever, he's been handed a 1.6 second penalty. He was 2nd at the time, sat up and came back in 6th place, but he's been handed a 1.6 second penalty.
Yeah, that's a disaster for Jeremy Alcoba, your current race leader, so that all but rules him out of a race win, unfortunately. How far ahead is he of 4th place?
2.7 seconds.
Yeah, so it could be, well, he should be okay if these 3 can keep up the pace. But yeah, what a disaster for Alcoba.
I think he's really hard done by.
I think he is as well, yeah.
Super hard done by, because he didn't take any advantage whatsoever. He knew he was running right, picked it up, went onto the green stuff across turns 1 and 2 as we saw there. But he's been handed a 1.6 second penalty for it. Fastest man on track is that man, Barry Baltas, a 1:49.9. Incidentally, I'll just keep an eye on the number 7 on the exit of turn 14, the final corner. Just edging onto the green stuff, which is off-track limit. He needs to be careful that he doesn't pick up any form of time penalty himself, because if both Baltas and Alcoba have, he'll basically hand the lead to number 99 of Carlos Tatai. The interesting thing is, though, that Baltas and Tatai surely won't be aware of the fact that the man out front has got himself a penalty, unless somehow they can try and translate that across on the pit board. It'd be interesting to see if we can just get a look at the pit boards as they go down the start-finish straight, to see if either of the men in 2nd and 3rd place have been made aware of the fact that he's got a penalty, because as a result, you might as well just sit in behind him. Why on earth would you try and battle with him? Although you could possibly use him as a buffer as well. There's a lot of tactics that go into this one, but I'm sure Baltas will be going for the lead. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big look up the inside. I'm sure he won't be aware of the fact that Alcoba's got himself a 1.6 second penalty. But these two are just starting to pull clear of Carlos Tatai. I'm not sure whether he's just coming under a little bit of problems. Another time penalty coming away, the number 31. That's the junior talent team rider, Billy Van Eerde. He's not inside the top 26 at the moment. No, he is. 21st at the moment is Billy, but a 1.2 second penalty for him as a result of also shortcutting turns 1 and 2. We'll see him shuffle backwards. But back at the front, it's Alcoba that leads, but in reality, he doesn't. It's Barry Baltus that leads, because a 1.6 second penalty for Alcoba will mean that he'll get shuffled backwards on the timing orders once the race is completed. So with 2 laps to go, Baltus is your leader, with Carlos Tatai now second, and it's down to Alcoba to see if he can pull out a 1.6 second lead in the final 2 laps of this one, which looks unlikely. It
does look unlikely, Jack. Yeah, I think these three are going to stay together in these last 2 laps, but the good thing for Alcoba is he probably will pick up a podium if nothing happens, such as a crash or a mechanical, because they are 4.3 seconds clear of the whole host of riders who are challenging for 4th place. That's currently led by Gerard Riou on the Baco Racing Team bike.
And as things stand as well, with these 3 battling at the front, we are going to get a new championship leader. Barry Baltus with 25 points would see him jump to the top of the standings. As things stand with Alcoba's penalty, he will pick up 16 points, which will see him move into second. And that's Aleix Fiu. It's good to see that, although bitterly disappointed, he is okay, just getting an arm round the shoulder and a consoling word as a result of that one, because he knew that there was a race victory up for grabs there. But back at the front, he won't be too pleased to see that it's his teammate that might well stand on top of the podium for the 2nd time this season. 1.5 laps to go here in Barcelona. A great race so far, with these 3 battling out at the front. But remember, Alcoba, a 1.6 second penalty means that he's quite possibly out of contention. So as they come across the line to start the final lap, it's all down to the men 2nd and 3rd on the road. Barry Baltus, the number 7, and the number 99 of Carlos Tatai. They are the 2 that are going to be fighting for the opening win of the day here in Barcelona. 1 lap to go of the Junior World Championship. Yeah, this run down to the first corner could be pivotal. Whoever gets into the lead here can hold it round the rest of the lap. It looks like Baltus is pulling out the slipstream as we see the Angel Nieto team garage. Who is it going to be? Alcoba's going to hold it, but Tatai moves into second, which technically puts him first. But is Baltus going to get him back around the outside? No, he's not. Runs ever so slightly right as Tatai. Baltus has got the better run, but Tatai's going to hold the inside line through turn 3. It's a long way round for Baltus if he tries to go around the outside of turn 3. Runs ever so slightly wide. Baltus with the inside line. Can he find a way back up the inside? No, he can't. We're ignoring Alcoba at the front because he's not going to win this one. It's between Tatai and Baltus for the race win, unless those 2 duffing each other's up can allow Alcoba to pull out a 1.6 second lead, but surely that's not going to happen. It's down to the men in 2nd and 3rd place for the win.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought so. I think, well, we don't know who knows out of them. Like, I don't know if Alcoba knows if he's got a 1.6 second penalty or not.
Well, there's nothing Alcoba can do. He just has to put his head down. And for Tatai now, he's not bothered about the man in front of him. Surely he has to be bothered about the number 7 behind him. But if he doesn't know, is he going to make a big lunge into the final corners to try and get the race win?
This is one of the main moves then. This could be the last chance saloon for Baltus and Tatai.
Here comes Baltus. He's in the slipstream. He's going to pull out. Surely he's too far away. Yes, he is. Tatai's going to hold it as we go through turn 10. Oh, he runs ever so slightly wide. Almost tucks the front. That's going to allow Baltus to slip up the inside, is it? No, just about holds on through turn 11 does Tatai. 3 corners remaining. Into turn 12. Tatai holds it at the moment. Baltus is surely too far away. We cut to Nico Terol in the garage, but it's going to be Tatai that holds it through the penultimate corner. 1 lap to go. The number 99 is going to hold on surely. Flicks right. Baltus is too far away, and 12 months on from a tragic day here in Barcelona, the Andreas Perez Foundation man wins in Barcelona. The number 77 on the side of his machine, and it's the number 99 that wins for the first time in the Junior World Championship. Carlos Tatai, 2 weeks on from a dominant performance in Mugello, but this win will mean oh so much to him and all of that team after the tragic events of 12 months ago. What a way to mark the memory of Andreas Perez. A superb ride from Carlos Tatai to take his first win of the season, but disappointment for Jeremy Alcoba because he's unaware of the fact that he's finished in 3rd place. Someone is going to have to tell him in Parc Fermé that, Jeremy, unfortunately, you've got a penalty and you won't be standing on the top step of the podium. He will be bitterly disappointed, and unsurprisingly as well, because I feel he's been hard done by. It'd be interesting to see that result in the end, as we see him flashed up as the winner, but surely he's been handed a penalty, the number 52. So as a result, he will get shuffled backwards. It does show him as the race winner, but we'll have to get race result confirmation as they come into Parc Fermé. But without a doubt, it flashed up on our timing screen that the number 52 was handed a 1.6 second penalty. So we'll have to just wait and see and get final confirmation of it. But as far as I'm aware, unless for some reason that penalty has been rescinded, it will be Tatai that picks up the win. It's flashing him up as second place, but I really can't understand why, because the gap was only 0.1 across the line, and we had confirmation it was the number 52 that picked up a 1.6 second penalty. So we'll have to wait until they get into Parc Fermé, the fact of who the race winner is. But it seems almost certain to me that surely it's Alcoba that's finished in third place. But we'll wait for confirmation. Barry Balter's handed, well, it flashes up as third place. And it's a strong ride from him nevertheless, and obviously the final results will dictate who takes over the championship lead as a result of the men in second and fourth place in the championship battling it out for 25, 20 and 16 points. We will have a new championship leader, and there we have finally the results are amended on our timing screen, and thankfully I was correct. We haven't made that much of an error. It is Tatai that's won, it is Baltus in second, and it is Alcoba that takes the final podium spot, although unfortunately he's not aware of that yet, holding the flag of the number 77, showing his tributes towards the late Andreas Perez. But sadly for Alcoba, he will not stand on the top step of the podium thanks to that 1.6 second penalty halfway through the race after picking it up at turns 1 and 2. And it'd be interesting, we will see the highlights once the podium presentation is done, just to see that incident once again, because he was so unfortunate to pick up the time penalty as a result of that one. He was pushed wide and didn't really have too much road to go, and as a result he picked it up. He didn't really take any advantage whatsoever, but the penalty has been handed to him nevertheless. I'm sure we might put in a bit of a lodge, a complaint as a result of it up to race direction, but he'll have to bite his tongue at the moment, and it will be third place for Jeremy Alcoba, and this will be disappointing for himself because at the moment he's not aware of it. He's going to come into Parc Fermé, and instead of P1 they're going to point at P3. There it is, they're going to have a word with him. Going to pull him to one side and explain a 1.6 second penalty. There he is, holds up the number 3. It'll be interesting to see his facials, because I'm sure he will be bitterly disappointed. And yeah, that is a face of disgust on Jeremy Alcoba. He thought he'd picked up a first win in the Junior World Championship in over 2 years, and he's not too happy with it at all, just shouting, no, surely that cannot be the case. But the victory goes to this man. What better way to honour the memory of the number 77 by picking up your first ever Junior World Championship win with the number 77 on the top of his helmet, on the side of his machine. Delight for the Real Avintia Junior squad, the Andreas Perez Foundation team. Carlos Tatai takes his first win in the Junior World Championship this season. A superb result for him, and the number 52 of Jeremy Alcoba, unsurprisingly, is absolutely distraught at the fact that he hasn't picked up the race win despite taking the checkered flag. Barry Baltus, incidentally, takes second, which would mean that he would move on to 72 points. He was 5 points ahead of Alcoba, so despite his disappointment, Alcoba, third place finish, does see him retake the Junior World Championship lead, but only just is a point clear of Barry Baltus now as a result of that one, with Yuki Kuni shuffled backwards. Carlos Tatai was down in 9th place with 20 points, so 45 points for him now. We'll see him move up into contention, but he's still a handful of points adrift away off Jeremy Alcoba and Xavi Artigas. But there is the race winner, Carlos Tatai. Great rides in the end for 4th place, Gerard Rio. Daniel Holgado, the youngest man on the grid, coming through to take 5th place. And David Salvador, after starting way down on the grid, row number 11 it was. No, 12, sorry, for David Salvador. But he comes through to 6th place. What a superb ride from the number 38. Max Koffler there in 7th. And now we'll go down to pit lane to hear from the race winner for the first time in the Junior World Championship, Carlos Tatai.
Carlos Carlos, a magnificent win, your first this season in the Junior World Championship, and what a way to remember Andreas.
Well, yeah, it was a really funny race. It was fighting a lot in the top position. It was incredible for me. First podium and first victory is just unbelievable, and I only have thankfully words for all the team and all my manager and everybody because they make this possible. So this goes for Andreas.
Y en español.
Ha sido una carrera muy peleada, muy luchada desde el principio y la verdad que me sentí cómodo desde que empecé a luchar, y el primer podio, primera victoria es increíble aquí en el FIM CEV, y solo tengo palabras de agradecimiento hacia mi equipo y todo lo que hacen por mí, hacia mi manager y todo, y solo esto va por Andreas.
Gracias.
Carlos Tatai after his first win in the Junior World Championship, but this is how it unfolded. The race got underway, 16 laps we were due for, with Denis Ernchu from pole position taking the lead from pole. He was the fastest man in qualifying, the fastest ever man around here in a Moto3 machine, but an incident on lap number 3 meant that the red flags came out. Xavi Artigas was in second place at the time, having made a great run through from 8th on the grid. We then went back to the original grid for a 10-lap dash. Artigas having to start all the way back from the row 3 again. Not the best of starts for Ernchu, saw him slip backwards with Aleix View taking the whole shot, with Jeremy Alcoba and Carlos Tatai in contention as well. But despite having to come through from row 3 once again, Artigas got another flyer to eventually get himself up into the lead group and lead at 1 point as well. It looked like we were going to have an absolute classic with 15 riders within 1.5 seconds battling for the lead. But then this huge incident, Aleix View high-siding with Xavi Artigas and Denis Ernchu left with nowhere to go, meant that these 3 men broke clear. Jeremy Alcoba, Barry Baltus and Carlos Tatai battling it out for the win. Alcoba was leading, but during the early melee, he ran on at turn 1 and 2 and was handed a 1.6 second penalty, meaning despite taking the checkered flag across the line, it was a man in second across the line, Carlos Tatai, that was handed his first ever win in the Junior World Championship, with Barry Baltus taking second place. And despite the disappointment for Jeremy Alcoba, he takes the early championship lead in the Junior World Championship. And here are the definite race results as a result of that one, with that man, the number 99 of Carlos Tatai, on top by just a 1/10 of a second clear of Barry Baltus. The 1.6 second penalty imposed on Alcoba sees him shuffle back to 3rd place, and then good rides down the field from Gerard Riou, Daniel Holgado, David Salvador, that you could possibly put an argument together with the ride of the day in 6th place. Max Koffler in 7th, Haruki Noguchi on his first time here to Barcelona in 8th, and a strong ride into 9th place as well from Kawakami. 10th downwards was Garcia from a long way back. Adrian Fernandez, David Pizzoli, Max Cook, a part of the junior talent team squad. Kevin Zanoni in 14th, and then Matteo Bertelli picking up the final points here in Barcelona, just beating out Hikaru Arita, Nicolo Carraro and Jason Dupasquier in 18th. The Swiss rider who had picked up some good results at the start of the season, but just not coming to terms of Barcelona as well he would like. Bill Van Erde also had a penalty imposed running on at turns 1 and 2, and that saw him shuffle backwards to 19 for the final finishers. Matteo Pataka, Inigo Iglesias, Luis Verdugo, Andrei Voshtitek, Alex Diaz, Joel Kelso and Ryusi Yamanaka, who was involved in an incident in opening stages with Stefano Nepper, but he got back on board to cross the line. But back to the podium places, and quite rightly, the number 77 has its place on the top step of the podium, thanks to Carlos Tatai. The team award makes its way to the left-hand side. Delight for the Real Avintia Junior squad. A victory for them in the Junior World Championship for the first time this season. And then the 3rd place trophy will go the way of a disappointed Jeremy Alcoba, but the silver lining is he now leads the Junior World Championship as a result of Yuki Kuni not being here this weekend. 2nd place and another podium for Barry Baltus, backing up his win at the opening round of the season in Estoril. And after a 6th place in Estoril, a double disappointment in Valencia with 2 DNFs and then 6th in Le Mans, Carlos Tatai has bounced back to pick up his first win in the Junior World Championship, the number 99 on the top step of the podium. picks up the race winners trophy, and as is always the case at the Repsol FIM CEV, he will be awarded his fuel check as well. He hasn't got that far to go home as the number 99 of Carlos Tate, only lives just down the road, but that 250 quid will be gratefully received nonetheless. And as a result, we'll now have the Spanish national anthem. Carlos Tate enjoys his national anthem for the first time on the top step of the podium. Superb ride from him to make the move on Barry Baltus as we went into the first corner on the final lap. A brave move on the brake saw him take the lead. And as a result, that victory will bring him right into championship contention. We'll run through the championship standings with you in just a moment as we see the top three guys on the podium enjoy their moment. Well, two of them enjoy the moment. Unfortunately for Jeremy Alcoba, I don't think he's in the mood for celebrating too wildly just yet, because he feels he's been bitterly done by to finish in third place. But he's got another opportunity. There's a second Junior World Championship race later on this afternoon. But there we go, the championship standing see Jeremy Alcoba now fronted aboard the Husqvarna, just the 1 point clear of Barry Baltus, with Yuki Cooney likely to slip even further back as we go racing this afternoon, languished on 70 points. Xavi Artigas remains on 53 after his non-score, and Daniel Holgado, with a group now of fairly consistent results, sees him move up into 5th place. He was actually under the age limit at the start of the season, so he couldn't ride at Estoril, but he's bounced back now with a 4th place finish, a 3rd place finish, a 4th place finish, and then a result of that one making his way up into the top 5 of the race. We'll see him now up into 5th place in the standings as well. Further back we see Adrian Fernandez, Gerard Rieu, Aleix View down in 12th place. Just the 19 points for him. It could have been a whole host more had he been able to stay on board the Samakatar Angel Nieto KTM, despite that huge high side at turn 5 with just 4 laps remaining. Yuji Kawakami 15th there on 16 points, the Brazilian. A good ride from him in that one, and David Salvador, best finish of the season by him for a long way, 18th in the championship, but he's just picked up 11 points after squeezing his way through to the top 5. So Moto2 European action is on the way next here in Barcelona.